Yes, sir. Shall we start?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I heartily welcome all of you in the sequel of historical and pioneering Langlet's online lecture series. At the outset, we, the team of Langlet, need to thank all the participants for your love, words of appreciations, blessings, academic support, and overwhelming response for the first lecture series. Most of us are the part of this historical journey started well back on 20th April 2020, and now we have reached to the milestone by conducting 50 sessions of well-known national and international academicians who have spoken on various aspects of language, literature, criticism, ICT, e-content, and effect of COVID-19 on higher education. The platform provided a one of its kind in mutual teaching learning experience and reached to 40,000 views on YouTube channel till today, and more than 2,000 English professors, teachers, and research scholars are benefited by this lecture series. Your regular attendance proves that you have quest for knowledge in the present pandemic situation too. Even though we are locked down, we are not down. Our doors are shut by our, but our windows through laptops, through desktops are open. Being teachers, we always find ways to overcome all kind of issues. So friends, today we have with us a critic, short story writer, playwright, playwriter, novelist, and translator, Professor Basuraj Donur sir. Professor Basuraj Donur sir got his first PhD from Kannada University, Hampi, in 2000 for his thesis on Kannada drama and realism, and he obtained his second PhD from Karnataka University, Dharwad in 2011 for his thesis on the poetry of G. M. Hopkins and Baswanna, a comparative study. Professor Basuraj Donur, noted critic, as I already mentioned, short story writer, playwright, novelist, and translator, has written so many short stories and plays. To name few, uh, uh, Rangapravesha, Selu, Notagalu, Tamma, Tabalaji, Parihara, we can say Karpundagiri, then Hosadari, Nota Niluvu, then volume first, second, third, fourth. Then we have Chandni Chowk and other stories, and Aguntaka in Kannada writing, in Kannada language. And he wrote many short stories and critical essays and plays in English too, like to name few, Reflections, Encounter with Divinity, then New Perspective on Girish Karnad's plays, Shabri, then postmodernism and towards the science and aesthetics of the everyday, Tejashwini collection Shabri, folk theatre of Karnataka, a study, my father. So these are few short stories, critical essays, and plays Sir has written. Besides publishing over hundreds of articles in national journals, in national and international journals and magazines. Currently, he is currently working a professor and head the Department of English, Central University of Karnataka, Kalburgi. So without further delay, it's my honor and privilege to invite Professor Basuraj Donur sir to deliver his talk on method in Hamlet's madness and analysis. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Prashant. Dear Prashant Mote, webinar participants, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I thank Dr. Prashant for giving me an opportunity to speak to you on an important topic. The topic of my today's presentation is method in Hamlet's madness and analysis. To start with, let me very briefly talk about what we call mad or madness. Before I begin to talk on this very important play of Shakespeare, let me admit that I do not have very original ideas to share with you. What I'm going to speak today is my understanding of this play, Hamlet. And about mad and madness, um, he who thinks can go mad. I'm going to talk about mad or madness as a phenomenon. And a man who thinks can go mad, and he who does not think can never go mad. The problem with Hamlet is people say, critics say that Hamlet is not a man of action. I don't agree with this statement. He is a man of action in some sense. He's not merely a man of action, he is also a thinking man. A thinking man. I think it's Aristotle who remarks that he who tragedy happens to a man who thinks and acts. And Hamlet is a tragic character in this play, and he dies at the end of the play. As Aristotle says that he, because he is a thinking man and an acting man, tragedy happens to him. As I said in the beginning, you know, he who thinks can go mad, and Hamlet is a thinking man, and he is both a man of action and also a man of a thinking man. And madness is a universal phenomenon in the sense everybody at some critical stage in his or her life exhibits the elements of madness. Can I ever say that I'm not mad at all? Yes, I'm mad in some sense. Everybody has got some degree of madness in him or in her. You know what we call craze is also it's it has an element of madness in it. And whether Hamlet is mad or he wears a mask of madness or he acts and pretends to be mad is $1 million question to us. During the last 400 and odd years, critics all over the world have been talking about the madness of Hamlet, whether he is really mad or he feigns madness or he pretends to be mad, and why he does pretend like that, and what are the consequences of it, and whether it is only a dramatic tool or it's merely a technique that Shakespeare has used to achieve his dramatic objectives. So I will try to address all these questions in my presentation today. And when it comes to Hamlet's madness, even if we grant some degree of madness to Hamlet, as Polonius finds out in the play, there is method in it. That's very important. Method means pattern. Hmm? If there is method in his madness, it is no madness at all. Because what we call madness, insanity, cannot be very methodical, cannot be very systematic. It cannot have a pattern. If we go to a mental hospital and talk to the inmates, we will learn what really madness is. But in art and literature, even if there is a character who is entirely mad, it's not nonsensical, it's not hopeless. Just as we find order in disorder. For example, waiting for Godot. We say nothing happens, nobody comes, nobody goes, but something happens in the play. Somebody comes and somebody goes, and something happens. There is logic in what we call illogic. There is reason, what we call in unreason. Similarly, there is pattern in in Hamlet's madness, and Polonius rightly finds out. And as I said in the beginning, even if Hamlet is entirely, mad, if he is fully insane, then there is some method in it because it is a fictional character, it is an imaginative character, it is art. So you cannot think of art without any pattern in it, without any method in it. So there is method in his madness, and this is something which nobody in the play can recognizes. There is method in him in his madness. Neither his uncle Claudius nor his mother Gertrude nor his fiancée Ophelia or Polonius or Leatus, nobody can recognize that there is pattern in his madness. But his friends do know. They recognize and they know. Horatio or Marcellus or Guildenstern, Rosencrantz, all of them, they know that there is pattern in it. Because he has, on some occasion, he clearly tells his friends that he is going to feign madness to achieve his objectives. So we, as readers, as critics, as students of literature, we must know that there is method in his madness. Then let us think about the origin of his madness, Hamlet's madness. The madness of Hamlet is originated from the appearance of the ghost on the opening scene of the play, and which keeps appearing on the stage at regular intervals till its objectives are achieved. So I attribute his madness to the appearance of ghost. Look at Horatio's remarks at the appearance of late Hamlet's ghost in the opening scene. This bodes some strange eruption to our state. The appearance of the ghost has has a specific meaning in it. What does it indicate? It indicates, some strange eruption to our state. Something is going to happen to our state. Something is definitely going to happen to our state. That's what Horatio tells in the beginning of the play. And when Hamlet is informed of the appearance of ghost, which resembles his deceased father, he too, like Horatio, suspects that there is something queer about this rare happening. Why does my deceased father appear, uh, you know, like a ghost? He asked this question. And look at his response, Hamlet's response to his father's, to the appearance of his father's ghost. My father's spirit, my father's spirit in arms. It's full of questions and exclamations. This speech of Hamlet is full of questions and exclamations. And these questions and exclamations definitely lead to some kind of insanity in a man. In a man. You know, a person goes mad only when he is not able to answer the questions. He goes mad when he is not able to find solutions to his problems. And this is precisely Hamlet's problem. So he says, my father's spirit in harms. All is not well. All is not well. I doubt some foul play. I doubt some foul play. Something wrong has happened. I doubt, I suspect. Would the night where would the night where come? Till then, sit still, my soul, till evening comes, till night comes, O my soul, O my poor soul, sit still. Don't don't not move. Sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will raise. Let's wait and watch. You know, let us wait and watch. What is concealed to human eye, what has been hid, will definitely come to the picture. Let us wait. Foul deeds will raise, though all earth overwhelm them to men's eyes. Even if the earth opens its mouth and consumes all the foul that has been done, it will appear to human eye. It will definitely appear to man's eyes. This is his reaction to the appearance of his father's ghost. When my father appears, comes back as a ghost in arms, that's very important. Then all is not well. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. He makes this remark elsewhere. So the opening sets the tone of the whole play with emotional confusion and doubt beginning to break up the, the rational order of everyday life. The rational order of everyday life. Hamlet feels deeply melancholic due to the sudden passing of his dear father and his mother's unexpected marriage to his uncle. So Hamlet is not able to digest two realities in his life. And they are the two big realities which any young man finds it extremely difficult to digest and accept. One, the fact that his father is no more alive. I have lost my father. For a man, for a man, it's very difficult to digest the death of his father. Nothing affects a son more than his father's death. And late Hamlet died suddenly. He was in good health when he died. Of course, he was not in Denmark when he died. Why did he die? So the sudden death is always sudden. Death doesn't come slowly. Death gives signal, but death, as it were, comes quickly and suddenly. It gives no scope for a man to comment on it. So, death is always very quick and very sudden. Okay, and it is quick and sudden. Number one. Number two, his mother's unexpected marriage to his uncle. The remarriage of his mother sends shocks of waves of shock to Hamlet. Why did my mother marry my uncle? You know, within 2 months after the sad demise of my father. In Act 3 or 4, he asks series of questions to his mother. You say you love my father. If you love my father, then you didn't have the tears to shed for 2 months. You got remarried within 2 months. This unexpected marriage, to his uncle is a great shock to Hamlet. So Hamlet becomes very sad because of the sad demise of his father and also because of the unexpected remarriage or second marriage of his own mother. Then in Act 1, he refers to Claudius as a little more than kin and less than kind. I don't have to say that this is the beauty of Shakespeare. The beauty of Shakespeare lies in his language. In his language. If we do not appreciate his language, we can never appreciate his plays. And about commenting on his relation with his uncle Claudius, Hamlet says, a little more than kin and less than kind. This shows that his relation or his relationship with his uncle is strained beyond doubt. But he adopts a hostile posture when it comes to gratitude. We all know that Hamlet's father's ghost tells Hamlet to take revenge upon his uncle and spare his mother. You know, the soul of his dead father still loves his ex-wife. Spare her. And when he attacks his mother in the third, I think in the fourth act of the play, and the ghost has to reappear and warn him, advise him, look, my son, you don't trouble her. Don't trouble your mother, my ex-wife. But it's very difficult for Hamlet to forgive his mother. Look at this very famous dialogue. Seems, madam, madam. She is very upset when Hamlet calls her madam. Call me mother. He doesn't call her mother. And when he calls her mother, there is irony in it. There is sarcasm in it. Seems, madam. Nay, it is. He says, my sorrow, my grief, my problem is genuine. You can't say you seem to be upset. No, I don't seem to be upset. I am upset. Seems, madam, nay, it is. I know not seems. It is not alone my inky cloak, my good mother. There is irony in it. It's not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspiration of forced breath, no, nor the fruitful river in the eye, nor the dejected behavior of the visage, together with all forms, modes, and shapes of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for there are actions that a man might play, but I have that within which passes show these but the trappings and suits of woe. Then he, declares to the whole world that he is mad, and he tells Horatio that he would like to put an antique disposition on. Now, everybody is convinced. Then why does Hamlet feign madness? Why does he want to pretend to be mad? There are some answers to this question. Number one, he is able to speak and perform without any restrictions, because a mad man can say anything that comes to his mind. An insane man can say anything that comes to his mind, and people tend to ignore it. So he doesn't want his depression and his grief, his cry to be properly understood by the people with whom he's living. So he feigns madness to speak and perform without any restrictions. As famous critic Wilkes say, in Hamlet, Shakespeare used assumed madness as means for speaking sharp and bitter truths. So for Shakespeare, it's a tool, it's a dramatic tool. And he used this dramatic tool, what we call assumed madness, as a means for speaking sharp and bitter truths. And madness or insanity grants Hamlet time to think, to plan, and to execute. I will refer to what I said in the beginning, that Hamlet is a thinking man. And when the ghost tells him that he must take revenge upon his uncle, he doesn't just believe in it. He wants to test it, because he is an educated man. He is he's a student at a university. He cannot just believe. He's a Renaissance man, thinking man. He wants to test. He wants to verify. He wants to find out the truth. So to find out the truth, to verify the fact, he needs time for which he feigns madness. So it grants him time to think, plan, and execute. And it also makes Claudius invest his time on determining the origin of his madness instead of trying to identify and prevent his next move. This is very important. He succeeds in convincing his uncle that he is not mentally, psychologically very sound, you know. So in other words, he gives an impression to his uncle that in his present condition of mind, he is no threat to his life or to his empire. This is precisely what he wants. And Claudius is not very wise, and he fails to judge the movement of Hamlet, and he thinks that he has gone mad. And why has he gone mad? He tells his wife Gertrude that because of the sad demise of his father, and because of the over hasty, that's the word he uses, over hasty marriage, he becomes insane, and he goes mad, and so on. And what do other characters attribute his madness to? Claudius and Gertrude maintain that Hamlet's insanity mainly springs from King Hamlet's unexpected death, and their over hasty remarriage. Claudius, look at the remark that Claudius makes. I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death and our over hasty marriage. This is the reason why Hamlet has become mad and has become insane, and he has a lot of compassion for him. And Polonius, on the other hand, you know, attributes Hamlet's madness to Ophelia's lovesickness. He was in love with Ophelia, and Ophelia told him that she was no longer interested in him, because both Polonius and Leatus prevail upon Ophelia, and force her to go to him and tell him that she is no longer interested in him. So Polonius thinks that he has gone mad because of this, what he call love sickness. Look at his um, remark. Fell into madness, then into fast, thence to a watch, thence into a weakness, thence to a lightness, and by declension into the madness wherein now he raves and all we mourn for. This poor man who gets killed in the third act of the play, Polonius, he also fails to judge the true character and mind of Hamlet. And madness also grants Hamlet extra space. It gives him an extra space to reflect on the ghost's deadly accusation and his role as a retributive justice executor. It gives him extra space to reflect on what ghost says, and also plan his role as a retributive justice executor. Hamlet uses madness as a tool to settle his personal score. He kills Polonius, considering him to be a rat. The Polonius's death is a turning point in the play. Claudius becomes he becomes very careful. No, this is not an innocent madness. Madness can also be innocent. Madness can also be innocent, and madness can be very violent. It can be tolerated as long as it is innocent, and when it becomes violent, it should be accordingly dealt with. Dealt with. But he is a prince. He's not an ordinary young man. Hamlet is not an ordinary young man. He's prince, and he is an heir to the throne. He will become king of Denmark after Claudius. He cannot be just disposed of. Then he thinks of sending him to England. He is sent away to England as his actions disturb the stability of Denmark. Claudius is interested in maintaining the status quo in Denmark. But Hamlet wants to he wants to disturb with his actions this status quo of his uncle Claudius, because he knows that something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Hamlet is also constantly aware of his mental process. He can watch his thoughts, he can watch his actions, right? And what happens in his mind, what happens in his heart, his emotions, his inability to act, and so on, all of it has been fully, extensively expressed in his very beautiful monologues in the play, all his monologues. So he is aware of his mental process. More than that, he is aware that he is constantly watching them. He's very conscious. He's very conscious, and he's always very aware. If he were mad, he wouldn't be so conscious and so awake. But he knows, he can watch his thought process. And the two of these 6 or 7 monologues, these famous monologues, to be or not to be, that is the question. And I just take one small deviation. My teacher used to read this monologue at the top of his voice, and when I became a lecturer, I also did it for 1 or 2 years. Only when I watched this play in Globe Theatre in England a couple of years ago, I came to know that this is not the right. This is not the right way. This is not the right manner in which we can read out his dialogues. To be or not to be, that is the question. This is a very famous monologue, in which he gives expression to his ideas and his thoughts and his inability to act. There is one more monologue. Now I am alone. Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. So that it worries him, you know. It troubles him that he is not able to take action. He is not able to act. He is not able to execute what he has planned. And in these two dialogues, he reflects his inability to carry out the revengeful plot. Gertrude is more interested in genuine nature of Hamlet than in his madness, whether real or feigned. She wants to know what has afflicted her son. Why my son is not behaving very properly. She wants to know the reason. And in first act, in act number two, in the second act of the play, she tells Polonius to attend to her inquiries with less rhetoric. You please tell me what has happened to my son. Don't be rhetoric. She says, more matter with less art. This is the beauty of Shakespeare. One single line can make us think for one decade sometime. A whole lifetime is not enough to understand the meaning of some lines of Shakespeare. More matter with less art. This is our problem. Why we don't understand reality? Why we don't understand truth? Why we don't speak truth? But when I say I speak truth, I speak everything but truth. So she says, more matter with less art. To that, Polonius replies, Polonius is also an intelligent man. Madam, I swear I use no art at all. What I'm going to say to you is a matter of fact statement. No, I will neither magnify nor glorify. I will give you facts as they are. I swear I use no art at all. Hamlet's, as I said in the beginning, that Hamlet, it's very difficult for Hamlet to accept Gertrude as his mother at all. He has lost his personal respect for his mother. So that's the reason why Hamlet's father's ghost has to reappear to remind him that the queen is not his target. Gertrude is not your target. Uncle is your target. Your uncle is your target. He's the one. He's the one who has seduced your mother with his rich gifts. Shakespeare disapproves even a man's scholarship. You cannot use your scholarship to seduce a woman. Still, when Hamlet talks to his mother, he doesn't pretend to be mad because he wants her, that is his mother, to know his real hurt and injured heart and emotions. I don't want to speak like a madman to my mother, because if I speak like a madman to my mother, she will not understand my heart and my emotions, which are hurt. Mm. So she should know that I'm speaking as a conscious man, as a normal man. Look at the conversation between the two, father and mother, in Act 3, Scene 4. This is an important scene. Queen says, Hamlet, thou hast thy father offended. Hamlet, thou hast thy father offended. Hamlet, mother, you have my father much offended. You have my father much offended. Queen, come, come, you answer with idle tongue. Then Hamlet says, go, go, you question with wicked tongue. Then when Hamlet kills Polonius, Queen is upset with his death, and she says, "Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this!" She's upset and she is very sad about it, and it's not good on your part to kill a man like that. Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this! Look at his answer. A bloody deed? A bloody deed? Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother. Then she says, kill king? Was king killed? It's also very difficult. We have to read the play again, whether Gertrude knows that her ex-husband was murdered or it was a natural death. In the same act, scene in scene 4, he tells his mother that I essentially am not in madness. I'm not in madness. I'm not mad, but mad in craft. Mad in craft. It's only my assumption. I pretended, I acted, I feigned madness. I'm not mad. Then what are the consequences of this madness? Hamlet gets enough time to think, plan, and execute. He keeps his opponents, including Polonius, who sees a method in his madness, in dark, and he mistreats Gertrude and Ophelia and feels no remorse whatsoever when he murders Polonius. And this behavior of his is utterly unjustifiable. As a reader, as a student of literature, it's very difficult for me to justify Hamlet's attitude with regard to Ophelia, whom he loved, nobody can doubt, and he tells his Hamlet tells his brother, "I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers with all their quantity of love cannot make up the sum." Yes, but how does he treat her, and how does he treat his mother? She says, "When you speak daggers to me." She tells, "These are not words. No, they are weapons. You don't speak words, you speak weapons, very dangerous weapons. Okay, and every word that you speak, you know, hurts me. I'm hurt. I'm destroyed. I'm liquidated." Still, he has no sympathy for his mother, because Hamlet. Remember, Hamlet is his father's son, not mother's son. He can love only his father, not his mother. And Upilia also goes mad, and it's real mad. Somebody says it's sincere mad. I don't know whether madness can be sincere, but it's real madness. And her madness serves effectively as a contrast to Hamlet's melancholy and crafted in insanity. So these are my observations on the play Hamlet. Hamlet is a very complex play. It's a very complex play. It's an important play. It's his classic, Shakespeare's classic. It's his masterpiece, and there is no end to our interpretations of the play. And a play we call a play complex when it admits of different interpretations. We cannot draw any conclusion as far as this play is concerned, nor can we come to the final conclusion say that this is the meaning of the play. It's impossible. And having said this, I still don't know whether Hamlet um, feigned madness, or and at some stage in his life he really went mad. I don't know. He says that he is not mad and he feigned madness, but I have my own doubts about it, because unless if he were not mad, I don't think that he would ill treat that innocent love, his fiancée, Ophelia, so much so that she was she thought that would perhaps she would not she should not live, she should commit suicide. And mother is mother, mother is mother. So yeah, you cannot just kill your mother because of her mistake. Hmm? So I think that Hamlet, you know, at some point in time goes mad, but he is not mad in the real sense of the term, because he is he is always very conscious, and he is fully aware of what he thinks and what he does. And we all know that at the end of the play everybody gets killed. He kills Polonius, and Ophelia commits suicide and dies. Then he also kills Leatus, and Gertrude drinks poison and dies. He kills King. At the end, he also gets killed. So, all in all, this is a wonderful play, and the more you read the play, the more new things you discover. So, I thank Dr. Prashant again for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts about the play with the very learned participants. I can take questions. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. We have with us Paigunde, sir. Yes, sir.
Ha,
Uh,
Prashant.
yes, kindly unmute your mic, sir. No, not don't, sir. I am asking to Paigunde, sir.
Okay.
We have with us Shivani Vashistha, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
thank you so much for this interesting session. However, I do not have any specific question, but I would like to add to what Professor Saab has just spoken regarding the play. See, we all know that whenever we are reading literature, it cannot be read in isolation. So when we are analyzing the play, I would suggest all the attendees here to please look at the time in which Shakespeare wrote. It was the Elizabethan time, and we all know that Shakespeare was writing just to please the royal society, right? The society at that time was very restrictive. The women of that time did not have any freedom. The people were a little superstitious, and that's why we find the same kind of affiliation in the play also. We have the introduction to the ghost. We have females like Queen Gertrude, who is not really given any voice or any specific role. Why can't we look at the play from her perspective? Why is she not allowed to marry? Why is Hamlet so disturbed when he finds that his mother has got married? So Gertrude also, in a way, we can see her as a character who is trying to make balance between her role as a mother and her role as a queen. Hamlet is a play which is very complex, which has intrigued critics since a very long time. And instead of making a bifurcation between a black and white, whether he's really feigning it or is he really mad, I would say that he is really troubled. He's an agonized soul who finds himself in a world where the people whom he trusted, whom he had a lot of faith in, they cheated him, and plus, he is devastated because he has been conditioned by the society in which he has been brought up. So, his character has to be read and has to be analyzed from a psychoanalytical perspective. We find King Polonius, who is power hungry, who is very treacherous, who has committed crime, but we have his confidant Polonius also, who keeps on giving him the information, and the proceedings then carry on. However, why Hamlet feigns?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. Continue. Continue.
yes.
No
So why
problem.
Hamlet really feigns madness? I would see that he is disturbed. And secondly, he wants to, like Professor Sabe just said, he wants to buy time because he doesn't want to act in a haste. He wants a little justification for whatever his actions, he does it later on towards the end. So all in all, this play is definitely a complex play. The character of Hamlet is really has interested and has attracted a lot of people, the readers. And now we find that a lot of adaptations of this play are also coming up, and it is being looked from different perspectives. This play is read from a feminist perspective also, from an psychoanalytical perspective also. We do have people who were in minority as a subaltern point of view also. So definitely, it really calls for a new look at the play and revisiting the play altogether. Thank you, Prashant.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, yes, sir. Don't know, sir. Do you have any comment to make?
Yeah. No, I don't have comments to make on what Dr. Shivani has said, but I agree with what she has said, and I also made it very clear in the beginning of my presentation that it is a complex play. It admits of different interpretations. It can be read from several perspectives, and feminist perspective is one of them. Good. I like her comments on the
Interpretation. Yes.
interpretation and her understanding of the play.
Yes.
And she has shown, she has tried to, prove that there are different ways in which the play can be read. Good.
Yes. 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 Paigundi, sir. I think you are not audible. That is our problem. No, sir. No. No.
I can see Paigonde.
Yes. Yes.
Uh-huh.
But we can't hear him.
No problem.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Aparna Mukherjee, ma'am. I think Dr. Ritu Saxena is also with us. Yes, sir. Sir, kindly click on Q&A.
Ah, yeah,
Just read Ashirvad's question at the end.
certainly. Okay, there are two questions.
Okay, sir.
I can try to give my answers. Number one, why Hamlet has delayed to kill his uncle uh, is a question. I have already explained in my presentation why he delayed in taking revenge. He knows that he cannot kill his uncle so quickly because he wants to verify what the ghost has said to him. That's why he feigns madness. And there is a reason why he has delayed, and for his delay, he also paid a big price. This is my answer to Ram Manohar Pari's question.
Yes.
Then there is one more question by Salunke. Do you agree with T.S. Eliot's criticism that Hamlet, the play, lacks objective correlative? No, I don't agree with the T.S. Eliot. I don't think that the play lacks what he calls objective correlative. And I don't have time to explain this. And when we meet next time, we can spend a lot of time on it. Yes, Prashant, I have tried
Yes.
to answer.
I think there is one more question, sir.
Yes, Ashruva. I doubt the true identity.
It's a very big question.
I doubt the true identity of the ghost. Is it Hamlet's father or a demon? Is Hamlet being a royal son, loyal son, or doing the devil's bidding? The play never answers that question, which is a major reason for the cause of madness. Mm, no, I don't agree with Mr. Ashravad. Mm, there is no doubt about it. Mm. The ghost that Hamlet meets in the play is his father's ghost. And Madam has made an observation that the play has to be read in the in the milieu, in the socio-political cultural context in which it was written. People of Elizabethan period had a lot of faith in the ghosts, in the existence of ghosts, right? And it is his father's ghost. There is a lot of clarity in the play. It is not anybody else's ghost. It's not anybody else's ghost. And if it were anybody else's ghost, it would not uh, uh, force him to take revenge upon his uncle. And it is proved beyond doubt in the play that his uncle is guilty of his own brother's murder. And I cannot attribute this to his madness. The identity of the ghost cannot be attributed um, to the madness of Hamlet. I want my student, I think Ashirwad is my student. I want him
Yes,
to
yes.
read the play again so that he can find answer to his own questions. Yeah,
I think we are done with the questions, sir.
yeah.
Uh, are you there, Paigunde sir? Last time we need to give him a chance. If
Is
he is,
Geeta Rathod is available?
yes,
You
but
can see her.
yes, 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 ma'am. Hello, Gita Rathod, ma'am. I think they both are not audible.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, sir.
Mm.
Anyway, sir. Thank you very much, Honorable Professor Basuraj Donul, sir, for your thought-provoking, informative, insightful, and interactive session on method in Hamlet's madness and analysis. We thoroughly enjoyed and learned a lot from your session. Thank you very much, one and all, for your active participation by logging Zoom and those who are watching on YouTube channel and made this lecture series a grand success. Let's learn, unlearn, and relearn together. Looking forward to yet another thought-provoking and stimulating learning. Thank you, one and all, for your support to learn and grow together. Be safe, happy, and healthy. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.